from your friends, because that's the first place anyone's going to look. Best thing is to meet up with a sailor, you know, on a freighter.
How would I do that?
You hang around the wharves, of course. There's always sailors, and they'll always be after a bit.
What was he like? Marshall? Rat poison with boots on. Good, I'm glad I didn't have anything to do with that Dominique's woman.
What's he after?
Oh, anything as far as I could make out. Strikes me they don't know where to look for these terrorists, and young Roz kept asking me where I thought they was heading.
Oh, that's anyone's guess.
And you know what? I heard the doc telling Mrs. Jackson that Roz pushed the bloke who shot Mrs. Davidson. Otherwise, old David would be dead by now.
Gosh, she's a funny kid. One minute she's best mates with a group of commies, next minute she's saving the governor's life.
Well, she probably only helped them so she could escape too.
Don't think much of a chance, not with that mob. Out of the frying pan into the fire, if you ask me.
Oh, I wish we could go back to work. It's boring enough in here without having to sit around all day.
Here, why don't you spin him a yarn when it's your turn? Might do yourself a bit of good.
Good. Don't try and put anything over him.
Next. Well, don't stand there like a pack of dummies.
No worse than the dentist, ladies.
You, Smith.
Oh, think about it.
You'll come now.
I'll come. I don't mind.
Well, you're next, Smith.
Why do you reckon Chrissy's so keen?
Well, Marshall's a bloke, isn't he?
I've told you everything I know. Over and over again.
One more time.
I don't know their names. I don't know where they've gone. The last thing I remember is having a cup of coffee and waking up in hospital.
You drank the coffee voluntarily?
Yes.
Knowing it was drugged? Come on, you knew that the coffee was drugged and Coulson offered you a cop-out.
I didn't know anything about it.
You knew she had this instant sleep powder. Why didn't you inform the authorities? You knew she was going to doctor the coffee urn, didn't you?
No.
You could have saved a great deal of bloodshed, Kathleen.
It wasn't my fault.
Oh, I know it didn't turn out the way you expected. You thought that you were just helping your friends.
They weren't my friends.
Well, they're very dangerous friends to have. They kill without a qualm. And we have to find them fast. I don't say your involvement in this can be forgotten, but if you can give us anything useful...
I've told you everything I know.
You still haven't told us where Coulson got the drugs that we traced to her pen.
I don't know.
Think, woman, think. My God, you shared a cell.
Excuse me, Mr. Fletcher. Latham's got some story she wants to tell him.
Well, I'll put her on to Sergeant Dawson.
I'll speak to her, Miss Bennett. I've finished with this one. For the moment.
Take Leach back to her cell, please, Mr. Jackson.
You got a file on Latham?
Yeah. Bring her in.
So you're the biggie.
Yes. I'm the biggie. What have you got for me?
Something I seen and no one else did.
Well,
What's in it for me?
depends.
Remission?
Maybe. If your information's worth it.
Come on, Latham, get on with it.
All that shooting woke me up. So I went to the window and I saw Rosalind Coulson. She didn't go off with the others. She made a run for it by herself.
I see.
Any good?
Perhaps. Did you know the prisoner Coulson?
Only like anyone else.
Anything you can tell me about her?
For someone whose mum was a pro, she certainly had tickets on herself.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, she thought she was better than anyone else in here, that's all.
Whereas she was just another common murderess.
Not according to her. Reckoned she was righting a wrong.
Felt her sentence was unjust.
Yeah. She didn't cop it sweet.
She'd have been an ideal recruit for the Dominguez mob. They would have smelt her out a mile away. Well, young woman, You can go now.
Well, what about my remission?
I'll take it up with the governor. But of course, if you can come up with something really useful...
Sure. I'll let you know.
Shouldn't you have questioned her further?
Give her time, Mr. Fletcher. Let the girl think on it. She probably knows more than she realizes.
Yeah, but will she tell us?
Oh, she'll tell us.
That was a non-event. You won't get time off for that.
He's going to speak to the governor, he said.
He's got more important things to do.
Leach looked terrible. What did he do to her?
He's given her a pretty hard time.
Is it true she helped the terrorists?
On your way, Latham. Stop hanging around.
Here, Kath. It's me, Chrissy.
What do you want?
I saw Ros last night from the maternity wing. She got away all right.
Yeah, with that bloody nutcases. Probably shot her now.
No, she didn't. She got left behind, so she's on her own.
You sure?
Oh, I saw it, didn't I?
Oh, gee, that's the best news I've heard all week.
Maybe she'll meet up with her mates later on.
Oh, not after she saw the shooting.
Here, where's she going to go? She's got no friends down here, is she?
I don't know.
Oh, she'll be in real strife with no mates. And no money. No civvy clothes. What's she going to do? Didn't she have no plans?
No, she said she was going to go with those terrorists.
Of course. If it was me, I'd go down to the docks and get myself a sailor.
What did you say?
How would I do that?
You hang around the wharves, of course. There's always sailors, and they'll always be after a bit.
Princess, what about some time and motion study? I got the time if you've got the motion. You're not going to get a better offer.
Forget your fancy morals, Rose. That's why it's easier for us to get away than it is for blokes.
Yeah, but I couldn't.
Anyone want more coffee?
Thanks. It's all that's keeping me going.
Vera, will you be able to hang on till the next shift?
Oh, I'm all right. I snatched a nap last night.
What? In all that hullabaloo?
It wasn't constant.
Has Marshall finished his interviews yet?
I took in the last batch a half an hour ago.
Well, at least Coulson didn't get away with her terrorist gang after all her crafty planning. Meg, coffee.
Thanks.
You won't be able to hang on past lunchtime. You'd better go home then.
No, I'll hold on to the next shift.
Not necessary. I'm having the relief staff come in early.
Oh, thanks.
Well, come on. We better get back.
Jim? I had a call from Leela. Well, actually, she was trying to get hold of you, but I told her you were busy.
Oh, no. About Jeff?
Is what she said true?
Look, you don't have to worry. I've spoken to the police. They might even clear him.
Well, what do I do in the meantime?
Sergeant Marshall wants to see you, Mr. Fletcher.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Jim?
Meg, I don't know. Perhaps you'd be better off avoiding him till all this has been cleared up.
You came in very quietly.
Yeah, we learned how to move quietly during the last big bash.
Big bash?
Didn't Jim tell you about it?
At some length.
At least he no longer feels he's licensed to kill.